Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at a replay from one of the most controversial game modes in Rocket League, and that's ones. I think a lot of people can agree though that if we want to get better collectively, ones is the game mode to be playing. So Dr. Windmill here, sent in this replay, or Beastmaster in Discord, sent this replay, said he's around Plat 2 at the time of sending it, and just wants a general idea of what he can do to improve on. Now, he is on console, so I'm doing this through a downloaded video that he sent me, and I'm a little hoarse in my voice, so sorry for that. But let's get into it. Now, the first thing I want to stress that, we learn from ones and that we, should be trying to do is improving our kickoffs. Dr. Windmill has a really, really good kickoff, and that's why we're going to see a lot of really intense pressure from him. But you need to be more deliberate on your kickoffs. As you're going for it, you shouldn't just be casually driving to the ball, boosting, trying to get really fast, and then boom, hit it, and that's it. You should be reading your opponent. You should be trying to see, should I push this ball left? Should I push this ball right? Trying to be thinking about your position behind the ball as you're going for it. There's a lot more that goes into a kickoff than just driving towards the ball and hitting it, right? So that's something that we need to start practicing. Even in 2s and 3s, that's going to be something that's going to be important. So I love just tipping this ball towards the middle of the field. Obviously, his opponent whiffed, but that's fine because, we're creating pressure. That's why we're pushing towards the middle of the field anyways, right? So that's very good. Always want to be going to the middle of the field and going towards the goal for the most part. Here we go, gets the boost, and we're chilling. There's a good 50. We're very patient here, right? We're very patient. We're not overextending. We're kind of waiting for the ball to do, get into a better position for us to go for it. But we also, can see there's no defender actually challenging us quite yet. So taking our time here is totally okay. Especially in ones. It's not like, you're going to have a million people you need to play it past. You only got one guy that we're fighting here. So patience in general is a skill that I think translates to all the game modes. Go for it. Just a little bit of misplay here. Right? Get a nice little tap. We do have an opportunity to go for this. We have plenty of boost. He does a good job of, as he's going to this ball, he is originally on this line, and it's too upfield. He needs to be more behind the ball to actually clear it the way he wants. So he does a good job of readjusting himself, right? He's going, and then he swoops around. He's going to come this way and attack the ball at a more appropriate angle. It just misreads the touch. He's jumping, and we're facing basically straight up field, but this ball is going to keep moving as we are jumping, and he's just not quick enough to actually cut it off where it's going. And he ends up flipping out of it, I think, too. So he has to flip to try to adjust, and doesn't work out. I like to think of ones as a way to really practice mechanics and in general ball control and car control. There's not a lot of rotational things that translates to 2s and 3s when you play ones. Ones is very specific. You need to play a certain way to be good at ones. But, a lot of the mechanical things do translate. We whiff here. That's okay. We get this boost. We probably should be touching it, and you realize that he kind of tries to turn back upfield. And then as we're trying to get back, it's just too late. Our opponent has a really nice shot, plays it just past us. That's tough. I think the only thing we could have done is maybe touched it in this position, but it was, you didn't. Opponent had a good touch and was able to play it past you. And that happens. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. Ones is a game mode where people are going to score. That's just what it is, So it's hard to, hate on somebody for when they get scored on when it's not, a clear and obvious mistake. So our kickoff is good again. We kind of get punted back. I like that you go for the ball instead of trying to get boost immediately. Like, you know, ball control is more important in most cases than having a ton of boost or 100 boost. But we just get a little too squirrely, you know. There's no need to actually flip into this ball. Let's try to catch this ball, actually. Oof, I just missed it. Right, we're coming in. Do a good job. But as we come in here, let's try to catch this ball and then get this boost. Because, you know, that would be beneficial. We definitely don't want to, you know, keep flipping and then, hit it off the wall here and have an easy pass for our opponent. This is where, you know, the ball control is. We want to keep control of the ball longer. You did a good job trying to go for ball control, but then you punt it away to your opponent. Thankfully, they whiffed an open net, essentially. So we'll take that. We always take those. So good defense for the most part here. You're staying in a spot where you can actually make a play, so that's good. Cut this off in the corner. I think, you know, we don't really need to flip in our corner, right? This will be something that translates to 2s and 3s really well. We want to be the first one to recover for this and get to this ball, right? If we flip here, it's going to get awkward. As we flip, you know, maybe the nose of our car hits the corner here and our car does some weird jumpily mess, and it's going to be hard to recover. But in this situation, if you would just maybe double jump pop or double jump and just stay behind this ball and wait for a 50 maybe, you're much easier to keep your tires facing the ground and recover. My phone out of my way. Versus flipping, and then you're kind of pushing your momentum forward past where the ball is, and now this ball can easily go past you. So in our corners, maybe it's better to just jump, single jump, and try to stay behind the ball versus flip into it and then fly past it. It gives our opponents opportunities to get through us. I think that's something a lot of plats do in general. It's the idea they get in the habit of, if they're going to hit the ball, they need to flip into the ball, and that's not true. A lot of the time, it's actually better to do a single jump or a double jump and touch the ball that way. A bit of awkwardness. I love just getting in there, going for it. Gets the boost, then we rotate into a more of a ball hawking position. Good challenge. Maybe this is another case where we don't need to flip, right? Either way, like, this is an all-in challenge. Just with the angle of everything, you're going to go into this net. So I guess flipping and going in, or just driving in, either or is probably going to be the same. But I mean, that's an all-in commit. So you recovering well, like you just did, is very important. And if you can flip and recover well, great. But sometimes just single jumping is a little easier. It's a little easier to find out how to recover. Okay, we're hanging out, and then we just rush it just a little bit, right? You know, we're in a good spot for the most part. You know, it's ones. You want to be close to the ball as much as you can without giving up anything. Our opponent whiffs. We have an open opportunity here. We need to just chill. We need to chill. This guy flipped. He's going through this. We just need to take that one solid touch and get this going to the net, right? But we rush it a little bit. And we get the ball moving to the right too much, and we actually don't end up scoring right away off this. Those are the goals that even in 2s and 3s, it happens less in 3s. But that happens in 2s sometimes. You get a play past both players, and it's time to just, you know, get it into the net. And knowing when you can take time and when you can't take time is very important. Alright, we're taking control, and good. And then takes his time. Beautiful. I love the dribbling. Like, you have great control of the ball. You cut it past your opponent. Solid dribble, and that's going to win you a lot of ones games. Just keeping the control of the ball and having those small bounce dribbles is very important. Great kickoff. Completely dusted this guy. Now we got to score out of the corner, which is very tough. It's a pretty decent shot, but we were able to keep pressure. Oof, again, we don't need to flip into this. Why are we flipping into this? No one's around. Just drive into it. Dribble it back up the wall. We flip, and we awkwardly land. It wasn't as clean as we could have had it. There we go. That's much better. Much better. But we need to get back, right? This is a bad spot to be. They pop it up, but we're, the ball is moving downfield. We're directly underneath this sucker. We are never going to be able to jump up and touch this ball. We need to almost boost and get some space in front of this ball so we can turn and do something with it. I think maybe if you jumped immediately you could get this, but it's too tough, I would say, especially in ones, to overcommit or commit fully to that. I'd be boosting, getting as much distance in front of this ball as I can so we can make this save. So a little lackadaisical. Great kickoffs, honestly. I can't stress that enough. The kickoffs are good. Keeping those up is important. Good shot. Sometimes that's all you need too, is just keeping the shot pressure on your opponent's net. So even if it doesn't go in necessarily, you're forcing them to make a play. So far, so good. Got the boost. Now let's rotate and cut this off. Nice. Yeah, we're getting to the habit. We just like to flip into everything, right? Why not, instead of flipping into this, just try to drive into it and start touching this upfield and try to start a dribble, right? Like, oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay. Yeah, why don't we just drive into this, hit it off this wall, and then start a bounce dribble? Or even put the ball on top of our car, right? These are like the plays. These dribbles are the number one thing we should be practicing while we're playing ones. But when you flip into it, you push the ball farther away from your car, and then you have to wait for your car to recover, and then you can go for it, right? And we just see it here. We can almost give up possession. I like this play, by the way. I should highlight this. Just tapping this ball and pushing it off, try to push it off their back wall. A lot of times, especially in ones, it's going to be hard for this guy to react, especially if he's out from his net trying to cut you off. Just playing it past him like this can put them in a real twist, real bind. Almost worked out. Oh, no. We gotta be looking at our opponents, right? So does that. We're kind of waiting to see what happens. We're somewhat low boost. As soon as we see this guy jump, like, realistically, I think we need to assume this guy's gonna jump for this. If you aren't jumping now and going for this, we need to be getting boost and going. Especially if we see this guy jump, we need to bail out. There's no way we're gonna get this ball. Thankfully, he didn't put it in a good spot. I wish I could see how much boost your opponent had. But I'm assuming he was low boost too, so it's fine. It worked out, but yeah, just be careful with those. We don't want to assume our opponent's gonna whiff and miss all the time. Yeah, I was gonna say something about that play, but I think it worked out. I don't know. I don't necessarily love all of this. We can kind of read that our opponent here is not gonna hit this, right? We can read that. The pre-flip is a little much for me. I would just say, just drive forward. Just you can keep the, you can keep pushing upfield, but maybe just keep your car in the ground. Don't flip, because now we have to commit to the full flip, and you'll see that it worked out because we hit the goal. But you'll see we go past the ball, and we didn't even have a shot of even touching it. So, this could have been a much easier just shot off that when it bounced once and just blasted into net if we kind of just drove and stayed behind it more. But I get what you're doing. You're trying to be fast. You're trying to beat your opponent to the ball. You have a nice shot that follows it up. So it works out great. But I mean, I'm just trying to think of as we get higher and higher ranked, you know, once you get to diamond, your opponents are probably going to aerial and touch that ball, or they're not going to aerial for it. They're just going to go back and control it. So I'm trying to look to the future for you a little bit, but you know, sometimes it just works out, especially at lower ranks. I think if this is another opportunity, we could have controlled the ball. You know, we have a little bit of time. We're not really being challenged. I don't think we need to flip into this. And if we are, you know, obviously, you didn't execute it perfectly. That happens. But, I mean, why not just take a touch, try to put this on our hood of our car, and then flick it over him, right? We kind of threw away the possession in general. So far, good challenges. Their defense has been really good. I feel like you've been really, you know, doing a good job of staying behind the ball, not letting anything easy for your opponent here. Another good 50. We just need to get some boost. You find some, and then beautiful. This is what we wanted before. Take our time. Blast that into the net. Great adjustment. Great shot. You're going to score so many goals in ones from just counter attacks. All right. Looking good, looking good. And then, yep, another counter attack. Beautiful. I think you start running away with the game here. Oh, yeah, we're at 6-2. Yeah, just really start running away with the game here. Kickoff was a little squirrely that time, which is okay. Get our boost, recover good. Going for the demo, I like it, especially in ones. Demos are, you know, OP as hell. Coming off the side. Well, we tried to dribble at that time, which is really good. I think your dribbles do need some work, though. I think we need to work on keeping control of that ball, out dribbles, how we can touch it to keep the ball near us and play it past our opponent. You do a lot of touches. I think this is a good touch to show the example of. Oh, no, sooner. You know, we do a good job of get out of here, and then we go, and we try to take a touch, but I mean, this touch is directly into your opponent. Maybe put it up here a little bit, run away from him. But our touches are kind of, you touch it and it hits the very front of your car and it rolls forward away from you. Trying to get this maybe more where we're cutting it straight this way so it bounces more and get around it. There's a lot of things you can do. But yeah, practicing dribbles a little bit more, get more comfortable with them. I want to see more intent with the dribbles. Just a little bit of awkwardness here in the corner. Committing a little too much to it. It's awkward. You're in the corner. You don't have complete control of your card quite yet still. That's why we're playing ones. That's why we're getting better at it. Getting better at all these things. Very good. And then, yeah, let's take our time, right? Let's take our time. What do we got to lose? Great realization. I mean, it's risky. You could get demoed, you could whatever, but realistically, at the end of the day, I mean, you're up 3 goals. This ball is already going towards the net. If you touch this at your angle, you're going to pop it out and you're never going to score it. So slow down. Take your time. Try to play this away. Your opponent whiffs and you get a nice, easy goal. That's great patience. I see it in spurts. You have good patience. You have good control, good game sense. And then there's other spurts where, you know, you still have like the Platt mindset a little bit where it's, you know, you're flipping into the ball for every hit. Sometimes the possession can get away from us. There's nothing wrong with that. You're still learning. I mean, Platt, you're basically, you know, you're still learning how the game works. That's why we're here. And this is, I mean, I would just chalk this up to unfortunate, right? Kickoff. We just got onto the wrong side of the ball where we're trying to save it. obviously we want to, you know, as this ball is coming towards our net, we need to get deeper. We need to take a pursuit angle that's going to cut this ball off so we can hit it from this side of the ball, right? We want to hit this chunk of the ball here, anywhere to save this ball. But we drive straight, right? And by the time this ball keeps moving, it's here, and now we're hitting this chunk, and that just puts it into the net. So this is a pretty big rotational thing. Like, if you want to rotate and try to save a ball, the last possible place you can save the ball, you know, is being in the net like this. And this is kind of a good example of having that angle of pursuit where we're touching the ball how we want to hit it. Overall, though, I don't think if you would have, you know, I don't think you could have saved that ball anyways. It's just kind of tough. Good replay. Obviously a great win for you. And one's you're a solid plat player, you can tell. You know, there's not a lot of possession yet between the players in this rank. And that's going to change. Once you get the diamond, there's going to be possession. There are going to be people who actively will set up dribbles and try to set up offense versus just wildly challenge it and flipping into it and just driving the ball upfield, right? So working on having purpose with all your plays is going to be something that's going to take you to that next level. Mechanically, very solid. Have a good solid foundation. Working on dribbles, you know, going into free play, just trying to balance that ball on top of your car, trying to, you know, keep the ball close to you and do bounce dribbles is a good starting point, I think, to start developing, keeping possession and going for plays like this. I did like one thing about this replay is that you didn't aerial at all in this 1v1 game. And ones isn't a game mode where we're practicing aerials. If you want to practice aerials, that's training packs, that's playing 2s and 3s. Ones is all about learning how to control your car and learning how to control the ball. And that's mainly on the ground. So we're going to be working on shots, dribbles, things of that nature. Good shadow defense, right? So those are the things I would focus on the most. I can't speak to any other level, you know, part of your game. But yeah, I think dribbles would be a good place to start. Overall, thank you again for submitting the replay. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, like, comment, subscribe. If you want your replay analyzed, head to my Discord in the description. Head to the coaching section and drop the replay there. Or if you're console, just let me know. We'll work with you. I worked with Dr. Windmill here, and we were able to get this done, right? It might not be the most optimal setup for viewing and getting the replay done and, you know, having it to be the most efficient, but it worked out. So we'll work with you. So awesome. Thank you guys.